Shalom. Our Torah portion for this week is Nitzavim. We will read a passage taken from chapter 29 in the book of Deuteronomy. Nitzavim is the very last chapter that we read before Rosh Hashanah, which we will begin to observe this coming Sunday evening. Now, Nitzavim opens with a passage that speaks of the covenant between God and the Jewish people. And it raises the issue of who owns this covenant, who is involved in this covenant among the Jewish people, and who is responsible for carrying out these mitzvot that are expressed in the Torah. Let's take a look at what it says in the Hebrew. Atem nitzavim hayom kulchem lifnei Adonai Elohechem, roshechem, shiftechem, ziknechem, v'shotrechem, kol ish Yisrael. Tapchem, neshechem, gercha asher bekerev machanecha michotev eitzecha ad shoev mimecha. You stand this day, all of you, before the eternal your God, your tribal heads, your elders, and your officials, all men of Israel, your children, you women, even the stranger within your camp, from wood chopper to water drawer, to enter into the covenant of the eternal your God, which the eternal your God is concluding with you this day with its sanctions, in order to establish you this day as God's people, and in order to be your God, as promised you, as sworn to your fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I make this covenant with all its sanctions, not with you alone, but both with those who are standing here with us this day before the eternal our God, and with those who are not with us here today. This Torah portion is all about accountability. And when you think about it, that is what the high holidays are about. Accountability. Who is obligated? Who is obligated to carry out this covenant? Well, we see that there is a flattening, a democratization of responsibility expressed here in the Torah as to regards to who is to fulfill this covenant. All Jews, from the very highest echelons of society, the tribal heads, the officials, those people who occupy an important status in our community, whether they are wealthy, whether they have official positions, whether they're the professionals within our community, that is the rabbis and cantors and educators. Of course, they are responsible to make sure that the Jewish people and Jewish tradition continue. However, the Torah also says the young people, the women. It talks about even the strangers, which might mean the converts who live within your community. Not just the native-born Jews, but those who have adopted Judaism as their own. And the Torah also speaks of those people who cut wood and who draw the water. In other words, people who have seemingly menial tasks that they perform in our community. They're equal before God. They are equal in the eyes of the divine. They too have a role. Everyone has a role in our community to fulfill this Torah, to live by the wisdom of Judaism. so often in modern life, we look to the Jewish professionals, whether it's the rabbi and the cantor, to be, in some ways, our surrogate Jews, the ones who will look after the continuation and the handing down of our tradition. But that is everyone's responsibility. Now, I think it's also notable that the Torah says that the covenant is made with the people today, and of course it is speaking of our people 3,200 years ago, just before they entered the land of Canaan. Yes, it was for them, but Hayom can mean today, and that means that every generation has its own obligation to interpret this Torah and to live by it and to pass it on to the next tradition. It says, I make this covenant with you who are here today, but with those who are not with us today, meaning also for the future generations. And you see that past, present, and future generations of Jews are all involved in this covenant. Well, I hope that you will read this week's Torah portion and come to your own conclusions. Well, during the month of Elul, after Shachrit services, after morning services, it's a custom to sound the shofar to let us know that the high holidays are approaching. Now, I'm going to try and get a tekiah gedolah from my shofar. L'shana tova tikatevu, may you and your families and your loved ones be inscribed in the book of life for a healthy, happy, and prosperous new year. Shabbat Shalom.
أبا الشمعون كن بعوني لا دعيتك عينني أبا الشمعون كن بعوني